Okay, so this is just going to be a little demonstration of how to use everything here in the Colosseum damage sheet. This is the one most up-to-date sheet that I have linked in all my notes, and it's also linked in the Discord and the speedrun.com resources. So this is what I would use in a run. I'm just gonna sort of go over everything and show you like everything you need to know how to use. I'm just gonna try to go over everything in order, and hopefully I'll just cover everything eventually. So the first thing here is these are just IVs, so you manually input the IV of your Pokemon so that everything's accurate. And these are nature modifiers. The modifiers are 1.1 for a plus, 0.9 for a minus, 1 for neutral. But you don't need to customize them manually, because these drop down boxes will do it for you. So I click Brave, it just edits it to this, and so you can edit them because it's useful if you want to just check some stuff outside of a run, but it'll do it automatically if you just use the drop down box. And this is just the hidden power, because some people, you don't always have the same hidden power. So if you're running 69, you would just change to 69 and it would update the calcs. And then you can have different type and power for Typhlosion here. You just update whatever you have, and then you can check the calcs. And then this here is shows the speed interactions, which are seen here, which are whether you outspeed, speed tie, or are slower than something. So you can see all the stuff you're outsped by later. I believe these are all Typhlosion. Show what the Quilava would outspeed and not outspeed. This is just a grid of the opponent's most powerful move against each of your Pokemon, and how much damage you can take from a max roll and a min roll. So it only shows their most powerful move in each circumstance, because that's what's most relevant, and in a lot of cases, the only thing that they can do. There's some instances later where it does show other stuff, but this is the most important moves damage that you need to know at any given time is going to be here. And all this stuff over here to the right is going to be damage that you're dealing. So this is going to be Espeon, and Typhlosion is this. So main stab just means, depending on where you are in the run, it's going to be Confusion here. Later it's going to update to Psybeam, and then later it will also update to Psychic around here. So this is just, it keeps track of what move you're using for you, so it will just always give you the move that's applicable in the circumstance. And there's some color coding here. So for instance, in this fight you would be +1, so it has this +1 color coding to tell you that these are ranges at +1, these are ranges at +2, these are ranges at +3. And then there's the Typhlosion calcs, these are Shadow Rush Crit, which is the most relevant form of it. There's Dig here, and then there's Flame Wheel, in Blaze, and not in Blaze. Later on there's Fire Blast, Blaze, no Blaze also. So there's all your damage output is on this right side. All the damage you're going to take is over on this side. And in the middle there's generally just information and some tools that you can use through the run. So this is for rerolls and Moltres Burning. You just type in your rerolls, say 600. That's the 0 button. And yeah, it'll tell you how long you want to wait with 4 Moltres, with Molt plus Zard, which are the 2 most common methods we have. This is a bunch of information for the run. So shifted AI is, this would be Delcatty, what Delcatty targets basically, what Dunsparce targets. There's a bunch of stuff here. And you don't need to know what like this applies to offhand because it'll be in the notes, and then you would just reference this. So I'm not just going to explain each one, but this is just information for that you would reference in the notes during the run. Here is a purify helper, so you can put your Colosseum's nature, and then it'll update this, and it'll tell you what you want to do to get Flame Wheel on time and to get the EXP you want. So I can just like change it to bold, and then everything will update, and it'll give you the different options you want for this. And then there's some stuff down here, depending on circumstances. There's a bunch of stuff here. There's like, here's rock slide, like half surf. There's a bunch of interesting calcs here that just like apply. So this part is basically for the scrub fight. It's just a bunch of information for that. This is how much you take from Shadow Rush, how much you take from Reflected Dig from Geodude. This is just how much you take from Mirror Coat, with charcoal and without charcoal. And this is information for Blaze. There's a bunch of Blaze information in here. For Mount Battle, how much damage you take, how much HP you need. There's a drop down box for which Pokemon you use the calcium that you bought on. Even a none in case you didn't buy it. And then there's this grid of speed stuff, which is tells you if at any point during this, Typhlosion will outspeed Espeon. So I could like manually change this, and then at some point, Typhlosion would just, it would show you where Typhlosion now would outspeed Espeon on Mount Battle. So there's some stuff that you can see it's just referenced again, just so that it's easy to find. You don't have to keep scrolling. And there's some other information in here, like this is a new edition that tells you whether or not you have enough experience to continue, or like to whether or not you have enough experience to reach the levels you need to reach. I think I didn't mention this, but this is an EXP adjustment box, and so there's an explanation here. So if you leave them blank, that's like normal. 1 on each side means that Pokemon got all the EXP from a kill. So say, for some reason, Espeon got all the EXP from the Sudowoodo, and Colava got none. You can reference this. Say 1 is for all. 1 is for all the EXP, F is for 0. So you would just go 1, F, and then it would update the EXP, and it would change everything. So you can use this to adjust when something goes wrong. That way you can probably keep track of your EXP. When you purify, you want to input, when you purify Colava, you want to input your EXP into this box so that everything can stay updated properly. And you can track your EXP. And then this will tell you if Espeon has enough EXP to learn Psychic when it's supposed to. And then basically there's like these two boxes work together. So if this is not 0, it'll be a number above 0. And this is the EXP backup, it'll give 1672. And so basically if this number is greater than 1672, you can't do this backup to learn Psychic on time. Just an explanation for what this is. There's a bunch of Blaze calcs, how much you do to Typhlosion if you want to set up Blades here. There's some stuff like this puzzle planner that I don't use. There's some more Blaze stuff and just information here. And then there's some other useful stuff depending on where you are. There's a bunch of Clust stuff so that you know how to do Clust properly and you don't have to keep scrolling around. There's some older stuff, but this is not really relevant anymore. This used to be relevant for Evis if you want to switch an Umbreon in certain cases, but that's basically everything on this sheet. Just sort of like the only things you really need to know are this is how much you're going to take, this is how much you're going to do, and this is just a bunch of info in the middle. You just have to make sure that you're updating all your IVs, all your natures, make sure everything's accurate, make sure your EXP is correct, and then everything should work out fine. You have the EXP adjustment to make sure that you can track your EXP properly. And yeah, there's a couple other sheets down here. You don't really need to know what these are, but in case you were curious, the Purify Helper is basically just a grid that can be easier to read sometimes. Sometimes I like to reference this instead of just checking the small helper here. So that's why it's not hidden here. This is what it references, so this is just like the full data so that you can see everything you want. If you want to use it to make more informed decisions, in case you don't just want to look at this, you just want more information. I do use that a fair amount. And this is just like trainer information. There's a lot of information you really don't need to see, but has all the Pokemon, all the natures, all their abilities, all the EXP they give, all their moves, a bunch of stuff in here that's like not super relevant. But it's stuff that you can use if you are trying to like test something or track something, because it keeps track of all your effort values, it keeps track of all your stats, it keeps track of your EXP, and it shows everything the opponent has, all their stats, all their moves. So there's a bunch of useful information in here, but generally not used or not like meaningful for like running the game. But a lot of stuff, if you're like looking to test stuff, is in here, which is why it's not hidden. But yeah, other than that, like, this is really the only sheet you need to use if you're running the game. And it's a little difficult to like learn, but once you get used to it, it's fairly easy to use. So I hope I like just sort of covered everything and I made it easier to understand this. So good luck, gamers.